What is up, guys? This is the Overleveled podcast, episode 8. And of course, we had a bunch of big news, and this is regarding Comic Con 2017. And we're first going to start off with the Telltale announcements, then go into the comic side for DC, and Inspector will be the leader of that topic. And then we're going to also talk about the TV for DC and Marvel, and also the movie side for DC and Marvel. And then we're going to end off with Ready Player One. But we're going to start with, so Telltale had this, I want to say, summer trailer saying what is coming out in the foreseeable future. We got announcements, of course, for Batman Season 2, also The Walking Dead Season 4, and it being the last season. And also The Wolf Among Us Season 2, that has been requested for so many years, and they finally got around to doing it. And it's coming out in 2018. And we're going to quickly talk about our thoughts on all these announcements, and I'll be the first one to do so. And first we have, Telltale Batman Season 2. And overall, I think I'm the least excited from all these announcements for Telltale that they've been making. Because in the grand scheme of things, of playing all the Telltale games that I've possibly been playing, Batman is in like the lower end for my Telltale favorite games list. And that's along with Game of Thrones. Those two games are like my least favorite for Telltale in terms of storytelling, in terms of pacing, in terms of characters, just in the grand scheme of things and choices. And that's like one of the things that I'm just worried about coming into Season 2, and this is probably the shortest duration we have for having another season. It's like super fast. And I was like, wow, I thought they were going to take a year off, or like us 2 years just to fully engross themselves and saying, let's create the story, let's develop these characters. But right off the bat, it's a year since, first one came out. But, of course, it ended around December to January, the last episode for Batman, around that time frame. But yeah, that is my viewpoint on that. And then we have, of course, The Walking Dead Season 4 final season. Overall, I'm surprised that this is the last season. And in terms of it, because Walking Dead is their biggest franchise out of all the Telltale games, besides Minecraft, of course. Minecraft is one of their biggest sellers, along with Walking Dead. And I'm surprised they're putting this to an end. They're not milking it anymore. We had like Walking Dead Michonne, 300 days. It's like a lot of milking, but they actually are putting an end to it and just being an end to Clementine's story and her being the main character. And that to me is interesting. I never thought A New Frontier was that bad. I liked it more than Batman, more than Season 2. And I'm not that type of person saying, oh, you don't like it because, Clementine's the main character. I love Clementine. I just thought that the story wasn't that great, in my opinion. I liked her development, but I wasn't, having a great time with the story. And I loved her in Season 1 and in A New Frontier. And I thought New Frontier had a better pacing, a better story than Season 2. It's not on par with Season 1, but it's my second favorite season. And hearing it going to be the last season, I'm hoping it gives it justice, and we're going to see something great and something emotional to back that up. And hopefully it is as emotional as Season 1. And then, of course, we got the biggest news for me, and hopefully for others on the panel, is The Wolf Among Us Season 2. And I love this series, and I picked up Fable comics after The Wolf Among Us, and I like Fable. And just like this rich background, and it's like a twisted children's story, but adult themed, and I really like it. And the mystery in it and being like a noir type fantasy. Noir type fantasy. I would like to describe that as the genre. And of course, you get your action scenes as being the big battle wolf. And just hearing all the context and the codex of each of their interactions with one another, it just tells you that they've had many years with one another. And I want to see more of that. And everyone's been begging them, and they're finally caved in to do something for the fans. And we're on a cliffhanger, and hopefully that's resolved with season 2. But that is like my biggest takeaway from the announcement, and my favorite announcement from Telltale. So those are my thoughts, and we're going to bring it to Inspector. What he thought about it.
I thought the biggest announcement was Wolf Among Us, and I thought it was bogged down by the other announcements. I didn't think they needed to announce 3 games. I think that's a problem with Telltale, is that they're cramming too much into like a short period of time. I guess it's overworking them, because you have to work on one game, and then in the middle of another game, you have to work on another game. I get they want like a good quantity of games, but there's such thing as quality over quantity, and that's, I think, what Telltale is suffering from. Going to Batman, to me, I thought the first season of Batman started off with a lot of promise, and then it kind of fell apart halfway through, and none of your choices mattered, and that really annoyed me about it, and I hated the ending for Batman. I never played Walking Dead, because I never really got into Walking Dead. I played the first episode and didn't really catch me, the first episode of the first season. And I've never played Wolf Among Us, but I watched a Let's Play of it. And it looks like a really fun game. It looks really, like, as you said, like lore heavy. And like, I've never read Fables, but I've heard good things about it. So yeah. And they finally caved in, as you said, because a lot of the fans have been asking for Wolf Among Us Season 2 ever since the first season ended. And what was that, like 3 years ago?
Yeah, the first episode premiered in like October 2013.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy for the fans of Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, and to go on what you were saying, that's my biggest worry in terms of all these projects. And I feel the Wolf Among Us has the most promise, because it's probably going to be the last of the projects, so they can focus their full undivided attention to that. Or it's The Walking Dead, either one. But hopefully they don't make that mistake with The Wolf Among Us, because everyone loves season 1 and people say it's their best video game to date, and they don't want to see that happen with The Wolf Among Us season 2. Like, would I not want that to happen to any of these games that were announced? Of course not. But if I had to choose, I would choose any of those other games to be bogged down and The Wolf Among Us to be perfect. But those are my thoughts. We'll go with our Marvel DC fan. What did you think about the announcements?
Well, honestly, like Wolf Among Us was still probably the best announcement we got from Telltale, and Batman and Walking Dead, those are cool. But the only thing, like, I would have been Wolf Among Us, and then that's it, because literally, like, Batman is coming out next month. I don't think we even finished Guardians of the Galaxy, and probably, like, it's just a problem that I'm having with Telltale, that they're cramming so many projects out and just throwing them out there like 2 months apart from each other before like finishing one. Like, it's disappointing. Like, and I guarantee you, when Batman comes out next month, that's like upon release, especially maybe for PC players, maybe for everybody, it's going to be littered with bugs and crashes and just a whole bunch of other shit. So, yeah, I only wanted Wolf Among Us. I wish they could have done that. But overall, the announcements were, fine. Like, Wolf Among Us is good, and yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. I actually totally forgot about Guardians, because I think it got delayed.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to come out late August. Um, in terms of that, yeah, there are a lot of bugs in the Telltale series. Everyone wanted it to be fixed with this new engine, but it's not a new engine; it's an updated engine. But to that degree, we just wanted those bugs to be fixed because I think the biggest bug in the uh, like games were Telltale Batman, where there's this invisible dude just like walking around, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And that was like the last episode, I believe.
And just a bunch of frame rate issues that I had.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Geez," I was like, "Dude, is that fucking Invisible Man? We got fucking new super villains in the asylum." But overall, what you said, it is worrisome that they haven't fixed these frame rates, glitches, and overall, I want them to polish up their games because we're getting to this point where you've been making games for so long and you haven't really addressed these minor problems, and now you're starting to have these major glitches. And I believe that those should be addressed, and hopefully they do address those things. But what about you, Talati? What did you think about the announcements?
Well, I thought that the announcements for the firstly for the Telltale Batman stuff, I was like, wait, you're gonna do a Batman Telltale game just suddenly all of a sudden when you know you've got Guardians already out and you still haven't finished that. And then the announcement, I mean, really speaking, the one announcement I really wanted them to really announce was The Wolf Among Us. I know that, you know, like I've seen a Let's Play of The Walking Dead, and apparently that's got season 4 coming. So I reckon this is the case with Telltale. Like they'll rush with Batman, and they'll rush with Guardians, and it'll be a big mess. And you know, people will be backlashing a lot to try and get them to fix it. And I mean, that's the case. That was the case with the first. I think it's the first 2 episodes, where both of them, when they first came out, people just basically changed the time zone, got the game early, and basically played the game. But I think as well they shouldn't have released it. I don't think they shouldn't have released the Batman Telltale game this year at all. They maybe should have waited 1 more year, then release it. That's my honest opinion, because if they did that, right, then obviously it would have made more sense. And I mean, The Wolf Among Us, I mean, that's got a 2018 release, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I think that as well was that was a shock, obviously, but it's about damn time that they actually announced something for that, because everyone was asking for them to announce Wolf Among Us for at least 4 years now. So it's about time. But honestly, though, overall, I think they're rushing too many games at one go.
Yeah, exactly. Just to stress, they're so divided, and when you make a game, you need to have your undivided attention. And sometimes it works for companies like Ubisoft, where they can have so many like
IPs
and employees. Like that's different. And overall, I'm just like, but Telltale isn't this big company like Ubisoft. So when they stretch themselves thin, the direct result is the storytelling and the glitches and all that. And I wish they would address this and say, I'm sorry, we're sorry as a whole, and we can fix that. But they still haven't done that with their old games. So hopefully they do that with this one. What about you, Damien? What do you think?
I also think they're rushing too many games. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not really too hyped for Batman Telltale Season 2. I think that should have released next year. And Wolf Among Us Season 2 should have released this year. Yeah, I'm not I'm also not big on Walking Dead, but Wolf Among Us was the first Telltale game I played, so yeah, I would have loved to see that this year. But I agree with everyone else who said it's gonna get like they have so many games out and like they're rushing some stuff, and then it's gonna be a big glitchy mess. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Overall though, super hyped for Wolf Among Us. Now we're gonna change topics, and I'm gonna give the floor to Inspector because he knows more about the DC Comics panel, and with Jeff Johns leading it and talking about the Doomsday and other events. And overall, just quick thing, I like where they're headed. I read the button parts, and I loved the. I guess you want to say like they set that up for the Doomsday event. I just can't wait to see it, and I love the art style in those, and I'm super hyped to see what they're gonna do with it. So, Inspector, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so last Thursday there was this big DC panel that both went over the Doomsday Clock, which is the big event that is going to be Superman focused and also answer all the questions of this big mystery with like Mr. Oz and the Watchmen, and that's going to be the big event starting in November. And also they we got some more info on Dark Knight's Metal, which is the Scott Snyder event with Greg Capullo. And I'll start with Metal just because that's the one I'm a little bit more worried about, just because I didn't like the Forge and the casting that much, even though I know a lot of people did. They revealed all the designs for the evil Batman, which is like, you don't know, there's this dark multiverse, and these it's basically like an evil Batman Justice League. I know people are getting tired of Batman, but Scott Snyder is like the Batman writer, even though I think he kind of went downhill like halfway through his New 52 run. All the designs look cool. The one that I found most interesting was the Wonder Woman one, because it's like basically Ares decided to become Batman because it just looks like Ares. The Aquaman one looks like an elf from Lord of the Rings with Aquaman's trident. It looks really weird. The Green Lantern one looks really weird. And the poster was done by Jason Fabik, so it looks really cool. They also announced like the entire line, and they announced that Jeff Lemire is actually coming back to write at DC, which is a big get because he's been writing at Marvel for the last year or so on Old Man Logan, and he ended his run on Old Man Logan, and he's now ending his run on Thanos. And people love Jeff Lemire from his work on Green Arrow and the New 52. Then he left after that because I think of creative differences. He left DC like most writers during the New 52. He's back and he's writing a book called The Terrifics, which is basically DC's version of the Fantastic Four. It has Mr. Terrific, Plastic Man, Metamorpho, and Phantom Girl, who is a member of the Legion of Superheroes. So it's basically all the Fantastic Four archetypes in like just a DC version. And the first arc is going to be drawn by Ivan Rice, who is one of my like favorite artists, like one of the best DC artists out there. And they had this huge poster, which is a promo poster of all the characters from the line. Like they have the Challengers of the Unknown, they have the Silencer, they have Damage, and all the weird thing about that image is that like each of those characters are drawn by different artists. It's just the whole poster is photoshopped together, so it looks weird because like Mr. Terrific and them are drawn by Ivan Rice, and then the Challenge of the Unknown are drawn by Andy Kubert, and Damage is drawn by Tony S. Daniel, and the whole thing is just like photoshopped together. It's a cool promo image. Really weird. And Metal is going to be beginning in August, so next month, mid-August, and there's going to be some tie-ins to some books. I think Teen Titans is having a tie-in. Flash is having a tie-in, Green Arrow is having a tie-in. Weird books to choose for tie-ins. But there's only going to be like 4 tie-ins. And then there's these separate one-shots that they're going to have. And they're each going to focus on each Batman. So they have Wonder Woman. They have the Wonder Woman one. They have a Superman one. They have a Cyborg one. They have an Aquaman one. And then they have the Hawkman, which is being also written by Jeff Lemire and drawn by Brian Hitch, which I'm iffy on because I don't really like his art that much these days. And Metal is going to go through, the last issue is actually going to come out on Valentine's Day next year, which I found interesting. So that's all the info on, that's all the info on Metal. And also, Scott Snyder confirmed that Shazam is coming back in Metal, so people are excited about that. But now on to Doomsday Clock. As I said, Doomsday Clock, they finally announced how many issues it's going to be, and it's going to be 12 issues, and there's going to be no tie-ins or spin-offs, which is good. And it's going to be a year-long story. It's going to be a monthly series, so it's going to go from this November to next November, and it's basically going to take place one year in the future. So by the time the series ends, all the titles are caught up with Doomsday Clock. And I think they did that because they didn't want to confuse it with, because Metal is going on like in the current time, and so Doomsday Clock is going on in the future. And they were teasing some stuff, saying that like Ozymandias and Lex Luthor are going to meet together and like have a conversation. And Jeff Johns said like the smartest man from one world is going to meet the smartest man from another world, and this world is Lex Luthor. So he confirmed that. I don't know why people think Lex Luthor isn't the smartest man in the DC universe when he is. Like the top 3 smartest people are in order are Lex Luthor, Batman, and Mr. Terrific. In order in the top 3. So I find this really interesting. And plus, Gary Frank, they actually showed like some teaser pages. I think they showed like the first 3 pages of the first issue, which looks great because they're drawn by Gary Frank, who's one of my favorite artists. And he also, I think he did this for a little tease. He drew like a Rorschach sketch for his son. I found that really funny. He's kind of like teasing us. So yeah, that's other than that, like there are some other comic book news, like there's a Birds of Prey crossover with like Batwoman and Batgirl. Like those people are coming into Birds of Prey. The Bat Azrael armor is coming back, which I'm really excited for. And then Tom King said, like, I don't know how I feel about this. Tom King said his entire Batman run is like a 100-issue arc, which I don't think this Batman series is going to make it to 100 issues. But Tom King can say whatever thing he wants because he's Tom King. So that's all the info from Comic-Con in terms of DC Comics.
Yeah, overall, what I think though, for Doomsday is they're not gonna make this too long or too short, and I think that's like the perfect medium that they're doing this for, and they're gonna put all their effort into making this a good, story arc, a good event, and I'm liking what I'm hearing, and of course, I'll be getting those issues because I love the buttons. And Jeff Johns is tackling this project, and I'm just super excited to see that and to see essentially just all these characters, come into everything, like, and then them having to carefully tackle, Watchmen and all that. And it's just going to be like super interesting from that aspect, because we haven't really seen like Watchmen for like a while in like, I guess, the comics aspect.
Like they haven't, like, the button kind of teased it a little bit more, but it was mainly in the Rebirth special last year. So it's like a year-long's worth of story, and there are separate different books that are actually tie into the mystery, like action. Like the 2 main ones are Action Comics and Detective Comics, those are like the main. Like you have the button, which was like the teaser for Doomsday Clock, and then you have action and detective, which are having like a quasi crossover. Like they're not crossing over with each other, but like they have the same story going on because they both have to do with Mr. Oz. Because in Detective Comics, not in this story, but the next story, which starts in September, which is going to go up to Doomsday Clock, Tim Drake is coming back, and he's in Mr. Oz's prison. So, like, and we're actually going to, like, there's this cellmate that he has, like, in the prison, and, like, we saw that at the end of the first arc of Detective, and people have been asking who that cellmate is, so we're going to get that answer in Detective. Then we're actually going to get the answer of who Mr. Oz is in action. So, and there's been rumors going around, and I don't want to say any rumors because I don't know if they're real or not, so I won't say any of the rumors of who Mr. Oz is. I'll just keep it up in the air.
Yep. What about you, Damien? What do you think about comic news for DC?
I can't wait till the Watchmen are come into play, like with the Doomsday Clock. But other than that, yeah, I haven't been reading Rebirth a lot, but I've been watching Comic Storian on it. So yeah.
I got you. What about you, Saladi? What do you think?
I think the Doomsday Clock will be the big. It's going to be a big factor for next year. I mean, what has been revealed so far has been cool, but I honestly though I think that in today's today's Action Comics did reveal a lot of things for Mr. Oz. So I won't spoil that, but like it does show a lot of things of what's to come for future episodes. And as well, even the Detective Comic side of things, there's also a lot of other things still to come. So hopefully, like they won't like when it comes to that time for the Doomsday Clock event. I hope they just don't do like a big problem. If you get the gist of what I'm saying.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
I forgot to say though, Dark Metal. I got the first, whatever it was, the first issue or the first prequel issue. I don't know which one it was. All I know is the first one. So personally, I know some people were iffy on it. I liked it.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
The art style, I don't know. That's just me though.
Yeah, the art style is messy just because it was 3 different artists and none of their styles mesh. Like Andy Kubert has more of a glossy type art style. Jim Lee is more like sketchy. Jim Lee is like the house style for DC.
Yeah.
John Romita Jr., who I don't like, he's more blocky, and I don't like his artwork at all. But
yeah, I got you. Some people are always like iffy about it. Yeah, I kind of liked it, but everyone.
But we also have the Injustice comic still to come next week. So
True. We'll go into, I guess, now DC's TV side of things. I know they did something with Black Lightning. Personally, I just don't care for it. That's just me. It's like, I don't know. See, the DC CW verse for me isn't pulling me in for some reason. Like I'm still with Arrow, even though Arrow season 3 and 4 were complete and utter shit. And then they brought me back with season 5. And I'm super excited for season 6. And then Flash season 1 was amazing. Then 2 and 3 they're just falling off. Hopefully with season 4 they can do something better. I still haven't seen the trailer for season 4. for Flash. Hopefully, I can watch it soon. I don't know. Arrow season 6. I'm liking what I'm seeing, and also Supergirl could not care anything about. And then we got the show about Krypton being the DCEU, and also having time traveling elements with the great grandfather of Superman, and Brainiac and Doomsday are involved. You got David Goyer writing it just because they kicked him to the curb, and he probably still wants to be part of the DCU, and they were just like, here, you can work on the show. And now he wants to do something super complicated. And what I've said, not on this podcast, but with me and Talati, I was saying that you can have a show that's complex and be good, but not being so complicated and bloated and just trying to be complicated just for the sake of being complicated. If you guys can understand that. And from what I'm hearing, this can complicate things in the DCEU. But, Warner Brothers out, and is if this show creates problems and ratings don't do great, they can just say, this is canceled. Krypton's not a part of the DCEU anymore. And that may end up happening. But yeah, other than that, Arrow super excited for. Flash may drop soon in the first 2 or 3 episodes if it doesn't get better. But yeah, that's the big part for the DC side of things. And then also we got Young Justice concept art, and I'm digging that. And I can't wait to see more and hear more, and when more news comes out for Young Justice. What about you, Inspector? What do you think?
I haven't seen any of the DC TV trailers, but as you said, I'm kind of dropping off of Flash. I'll give it to the mid-season until I drop it. If it doesn't pick up, I'm gonna drop it. I thought there were bits and pieces of Arrow seasons 3 and the first half of Arrow season 3 was good, and parts of season 4 were good, but on the whole, they were not the best. But season 5 was like a return to form. It was just very tight, and they didn't go too crazy, because I think the problem with seasons 3 and 4 is that they were too mystical, and they focused too much on the magic. But this was more street level, and it even though some of the political message episodes were kind of ham-fisted, they kind of shoved the message in your face. Overall, it was a really good season to return to form. Can't wait for season 6. I'm looking forward to Legends of Tomorrow, because I enjoy that show. I know a lot of people don't. And as you said, Supergirl, I can care less about, and Black Lightning, I'm not interested in. So.
Exactly. Marvel DC fan, what do you think about the shows?
Well, Arrow, I'm excited about, and season 5 was really good. I went back through some episodes and all that stuff to get myself caught up and whatever. Flash, I'm gonna see if the first episode is good, and then maybe if it gets fine until mid-season, rest the watch of it. Supergirl, I don't really care about. Black Lightning, probably watch the first episode. Legends Tomorrow, I'm not really interested in. Young Justice, I'm really excited for. But yeah, the TV shows, I'm a little half and half with the CW stuff. But Young Justice, I really want to see.
No, I'm looking forward to Young Justice too. I forgot to mention that. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. All right. Well, what about you, Talati? What do you think about the DC TV news?
I thought, I'm a bit confused with Supergirl. I'm a bit confused with Legends and where that would go, but I'm definitely excited for the Flash and for Arrow. Definitely excited for those 2 shows. Krypton, like we discussed before in Red Hood, I think that's going to confuse a lot of people on where that goes. I mean, if it's how is it connected to the DCEU? I mean, yeah, one of the actors was saying, oh, it's part of time travel, and some casual people will actually think, what? Time travel? So, to be honest, us comic book guys that actually know the stuff will basically say that it's not the right, for me, it's not the right step for them to do a Krypton television show. That's my honest opinion. But, for the other television shows look good, like especially Arrow, and where's that going for? What season is it? Season 6, is it?
Yes.
Okay, so it's season 6, so I'm excited to see where that goes. And the Flash, like obviously, apparently 6 months set 6 months after the point of the end of season 3. So I'm really really excited for episode 1 to see where it takes us. And there's all this speculation now that it's future Flash coming back and all this crazy stuff. So that's what I really think. And I'm also happy that Young Justice, they showed something for that, because to be honest, I mean, they didn't show no footage, but they did show concept art. And me, as a fan of Young Justice, I'm very pleased with the outcome of how they've actually put each character. I'm really excited to see where Nightwing is now. Like, is he gone to 00 agent style, like in the New 52, or is he gone, with the route of him being still being Nightwing? So I can't wait. But obviously, it's going to be on the WB network, and it's not. And let me just say, guys, it's no longer going to be on Netflix. As from August 1st, in Young Justice, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, both all 3 shows are going to be taken off Netflix.
So watch those shows like soon.
Yeah, watch those shows as soon as you can, because as soon as 1st of August comes, it's gone.
Yeah, that's like one of the things where it's like, it's like all these shows are leaving Netflix. I know what the streaming service is trying to do, trying to get all the shows that they have, when the contracts are expiring, and take it to their streaming service and try to make it like a Hulu, a Netflix, an Amazon type of deal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Who knows how this streaming service is going to do, if it's going to succeed or not. We have no idea. But, Damien, what do you think about the TV side of things?
I can't wait for Flash and Arrow. But after seeing the Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow trailers, I've lost interest in those. The concept art for Young Justice 3 or season 3 looks pretty good, and I don't know a lot about the streaming service they're trying to do it on, but hopefully in the future we can get more details.
Yeah, and just quickly say, if whoever's making it, they just need to price it right with what they're offering, because you're competing with the heavies like Hulu, Amazon, and Netflix, and those things go up to $11. And when you have those shows, it's going to be like, I don't know, 3 or 4 shows, you got to price them maybe $7. And once you become bigger, then you can price it like they are. That's my advice for them. But we're going to go into Marvel side of TV things. I'm going to go with the weakest, and that's Inhumans. Just quickly say, granted, the second trailer was better than the first. My biggest complaints: CGI, the choreograph, and granted, I love the guy who plays Ramsay in Game of Thrones. His name's Ewan or something like that. He's so good. Like, you meet him in real life, he's such a great guy, but then he just knows how to play an asshole and a bastard, and he's so good. That's the only thing I guess I can gravitate towards that show, is that dude. But overall, just like I said, CGI meh. Defenders, I'm liking what I'm seeing with the Netflix show. It's not going to be super dark, nor is it going to be super, light. So it's like a perfect medium for me in terms of that, because you have all these personalities, and the biggest concerns, of course, in any movie like Justice League, Avengers, is just keeping the tone of the characters, and also, just to have them truly represented. And they've done that. Danny Rand acts like the same. Jessica Jones does too. Luke Cage, Daredevil. And I'm liking what I'm seeing from that show. And it comes off August 18th, and that's, really close to college. So 3 days for me, in fact. So I got to watch and binge that really quick. Yeah, I loved the Defenders. Punisher, everyone saw it, the media, and we couldn't see it. It wasn't made public, of course, but here in the description, and of course, Frank being haunted by his family and all that, and these badass scenes of him being in the Mexican border, shooting a sniper like a couple miles away and hitting the target. Like, I'm liking what I'm hearing, and this is the Punisher where we've seen from season 2, and him getting his own show. I just like him. And just like the conflicting ideologies, and maybe Daredevil showing up. And that to me is really great. We can also talk Marvel Spider-Man because they were there. What can I say? I'm still not on this Marvel Spider-Man show. Just to me, very kiddie jokes, lame jokes that Peter Parker wouldn't really make. And they're doing that with this show. I'm not digging it. And of course, so they didn't talk of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think they may talk about New York Comic Con or a later date, because it's supposed to happen after Inhumans. Like, I don't want to say January, or maybe it's like springtime. I have no idea. But overall, I like Defenders, hearing good things about the Punisher, and Marvel Spider-Man, don't give a shit about. Inspector, what do you think?
About Inhumans, as you said, this trailer was better than the last one, but it still doesn't look interesting to me. It just looks boring. And as you said, the CGI, not the best, especially with Medusa. The hair looks like really bad. And it's only like a month away from releasing, right? September 1st in IMAX. And it's probably going to look worse in IMAX with all the bad effects. I don't get why they're releasing it in IMAX. It's not like Game of Thrones, which has like a $9 million budget or whatever, like $10 million an episode. Mm-hmm. Like, this has probably like $1 or $2 million an episode, and it's going to look really cheap. It already looks cheap just looking at that on a computer screen. Defenders, I haven't watched the trailer, but I'm interested in it. The only Marvel Netflix series I've watched all the way through are both seasons of Daredevil. I couldn't really get into Jessica Jones. I watched the first episode of Luke Cage, never got back to it, and didn't bother watching Iron Fist because of all the bad press on it.
Yeah, and also, though, the same showrunner that did Iron Fist is working on Inhumans, and they also said Iron Fist is getting season 2 with a different showrunner, which I approve.
Yeah, and Punisher, that's probably my most anticipated Netflix series just because of how great Bernthal was in Daredevil season 2. Yeah, too bad that wasn't released to public. We got like that little Stan Lee, like a little weird Punisher promo thing that was really weird. I don't know, just him narrating over him in a car saying how great these characters are. They're really weird. But other than that, yeah, I kind of lost interest in Marvel TV. I dropped Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm not interested in Humans. The only ones I'm interested in are the other Netflix series. So yeah.
I also forgot to mention the media has been talking about the Defender, and they said that they were saying it feels like Avengers
they showed the first
street
episode.
Mm-hmm.
They showed the first episode at Comic-Con.
everything's being shown at Comic-Con. Like movies are being shown at Comic-Con. It is ridiculous, and the first episodes are being shown at Comic-Con. And I also said like it felt like Avengers. People are comparing it to like the Avengers and the team up and how it meshes well together in that type of comparison. And I'm liking what I'm hearing for that. And also, I would say just Marvel Inhumans. I'm concerned in terms of quality because of the showrunner from Iron Fist going into Inhumans, and I'm pretty sure that after Inhumans, this showrunner is gone from Marvel. And only reason I'll watch Inhumans is because the actor that plays Ramsey, he's just a terrific actor, and like I may just fast forward to his scenes most likely. Also, completely forgot. Legion is also Marvel. Of course, it's not the MCU, but it's a Marvel show. Of course, he's getting a season 2, and I love the first season of Legion, and I can't wait for the second season.
I guess we all don't. I guess we all don't care about The Gifted, so I guess we're not going to mention that.
Whoa, man! Listen here. People want to shit on that show. I'm giving that show a chance for some reason. I don't know, just because. I'll give it a chance, even though it'll be shit. Maybe it's just like fun to watch with my friends, just laughing. Okay.
It'll be like you giving a chance to Westworld season 2.
Whoa. Are you trying to talk shit about Westworld? Huh?
No, I'm just saying you're gonna give a chance to Westworld season 2.
Dude, Westworld was like my favorite.
Well,
I love Westworld.
Season 2 is happening.
Oh yeah, it is happening. Yeah, I guess you can talk about Marvel TV shows, Taladia.
Well, to be honest with you, I am very disappointed with the Spider-Man cartoon television show. I was like, what? Because it doesn't, the animation style does not fit the character whatsoever. The direction that they're going with doesn't suit it. I mean, if I was them, I would have rather them go for the Ultimate Spider-Man route than go for the, or even Spectacular Spider-Man route than go for the this new Spider-Man. I'm like, I'm not digging it at all. I'm sorry, all these, Spider-Man fans, or Marvel Spider-Man cartoon fans, I mean, I'm a Spider-Man fan myself, but I'm a 90s retro guy, so I know what looks good and decent. And this doesn't look decent to me. Not in any shape or form. Now, with the television show in Netflix, I'm very excited for that. Especially the Defenders. Like what I've saw with the trailer. Very, very cool. I mean, I don't watch The Gifted or the Legion show. I don't watch that because I'm not really interested in that. But the Defenders I watch because I can watch it on Netflix. So I watched that. So I'm really excited for the Defenders, definitely, especially considering Sienna Weaver, who was in Alien and who was in Holes and all these big movies. It's also going to appear in that television show. So it's going to be really cool to see how her character develops over that season.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Marvel DC fan? What do you think about the Marvel show lineup like Legion and Marvel Spider-Man and Gifted and Humans and etc.?
I mean, for both Inhumans and Gifted, they look very, very meh. Like, I'm not really too interested in them. I might give the first episode a shot, but like if it doesn't hold me, then I'm not gonna watch it. Legion season 2, I'm really excited for. I didn't get the chance to watch Legion when it first aired, but I did watch it, afterwards. And Legion is really good. Like I absolutely love Legion. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. Defenders, I'm excited for. I've enjoyed most of the Marvel Netflix TV shows that they've been putting out. There's one I still haven't finished yet, Iron Fist, and I plan to, but who knows how long that's gonna fucking take. But Defenders looks really good. And the one thing I'm hoping for is that they just make Iron Fist cool. Like, just improve on his character and, like, not make him... We'll just make him better than he was in his own TV show. Marvel Spider-Man just looks fucking awful. Like, I'm not impressed at all. Like, I wish they just could have found a way to give us back Spectacular and then just, not make this new shitty cartoon. But, I mean, there's some good shows that I'm looking forward to, but, like, most of them are just either meh or, like, really, really bad.
Exactly. I want to say, though, Marvel Spider-Man, when people are just, like, made a video about it, right? I got some great praise and some great hate. And they're like, why the fuck you shitting on it? You ain't a Spider-Man fan? I was like, wow. I guess, buying comics for Spider-Man, going to movies for Spider-Man, watching the TV shows for Spider-Man, playing the video games, that doesn't make me a fan. Me watching that show is going to make me a fan. And people are just insane. It's like people think in their head, oh, that show is like, it sucks. And then you say, oh, what the fuck? Why aren't you giving this show a chance, man? It's like, listen, I said I was going to give it a first episode chance. If it doesn't pull me in, doesn't pull me in. I don't understand why people act like it's like the end of the world for me saying something like that. It's an opinion.
You love Spider-Man? Well, fuck you.
Yep, exactly. It's ridiculous. Damien, what do you think about the Marvel side of things for the TV shows?
I'm hyped for Defenders. Looks pretty good. When I saw the suit for Marvel Spider-Man, I knew I wasn't watching that shit. The Punisher, I can't wait for a trailer for that. Because the teaser, like at the end of the last Defenders TV spot, looked pretty cool. Hyped for Punisher. I also can't wait for Daredevil Season 3. I want to see what they're going to do for that. I got to see most of the episodes for Legion, and that show's awesome, so can't wait for them to bring that back. And, yeah, I think that's it.
Nice. Also want to say, though, quickly, I forgot because DC side of things, Watchmen is going to be on HBO. They put more information saying it's not going to be a straight adaptation. They're going to have the elements, but like they're trying to make it new twists and turns and stuff like that for the story and make it a couple more seasons. Personally, in terms of that, I think Watchmen for HBO is a good choice for TV series. This is what I think, though. Don't make it to the point where it's filler. It just needs to be very, natural, connective tissue. And you can put your own spin on it. Just stay faithful, and I'm going to say this, stay faithful to the personalities of the characters. Because not a fan of, I'll give you an analogy. I'm not a fan of Death Note because they don't have the same personalities. Just keep it in the adaptation, same personalities, same mannerisms, and I'm fine with that. And I wanted to get your guys' take on hearing that, and that's going to be a bit bigger because, that story for Watchmen is only like a one season thing, and then wanting to make it 3 seasons. What do you guys think? Do you think they could pull that off, or you think it's all going to be filler, or you just need the right creative team to do so? What about you, Inspector?
I think what they're gonna do is, like, I don't know how long each season is gonna be, like 10 episodes. My guess is like my guess is that the first season is gonna be all the origin stories. So there's gonna be like one about Dr. Manhattan, one about Rorschach, one about Silk Spectre. Like they did the Before Watchmen series, and a lot of people were mixed on that because they didn't like that they like put more information on these characters when they're already well enough established in the Um, if they're not doing a full adaptation, I don't know where they can go for 3 seasons. It could have just been 2,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
All right, Talati, what do you think?
What do I think about?
Watchmen and how they're making it like 2, 3, or maybe even 4 seasons, and that they're not doing a straight adaptation, but having those elements of the story still there, and
I think that it's going to be cool to see, but like you said, it's elements. It's not directly from the thing, from the comic book. So I think, what's his name? Zack Snyder's given a nod, and I'm sure the person who wrote the book actually was given a nod as well to this HBO stuff. But I wonder if after the first season, if they change from HBO to CW. That's a big question, you see. Because
if you do that shit though, man,
imagine
the budget would go down. Like Dr. Manhattan, like
dude, Alan Moore won't care.
Yeah, I mean,
like he's in his case, and they're just
Yeah.
still living off the royalties of like Watchmen and all these old stories. Like
and the Killing Joke.
yeah,
and the Killing Joke.
like the only people that would he doesn't have a Twitter. He won't vent his frustrations. Like the only people who are going to vent their frustrations are the fans of the book, like they did with Zack Snyder's movie. So,
yeah. So, but it's like what I'm saying is though that if they make that after that first season, if they decide to if it's a success, and CW want to purchase that, I think it'll be somehow they'll try and make it part of the CW, universe of some sort. Imagine that.
I feel like it's never gonna happen.
But
just because
I know it won't happen, but just imagine though for a second if that happens, and it turns out to be a huge hit. Like I think that would be a big success for WB's part.
But just remember though, like HBO spends a lot of money on their shows, and like CGI and stuff, like it's top notch for games, for like shows like Game of Thrones, and
you were just about to say games, weren't you?
Yeah, and also there was another like CGI heavy show, Band of Brothers or something like that.
Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld. Like those shows are like high product, like budget, and when you put it on CW after the first season of, let's say, Watchmen, that show is going to be so downgraded in terms of and the writers aren't going to be on board again.
And I guess we don't have to talk about Confederate and that whole controversy.
Okay, I'll do a quick little rant on it.
Just don't, yeah.
A little rant. Listen, they're not pulling an agenda, right? And I feel that people always take things way out of proportion.
They're creating the agenda.
Yeah. And people create the agenda, like they did with Far Cry. Is it 5?
Yeah, Far Cry 5.
People want to hate on things and say that these people have agendas when they create those agendas for themselves. And I don't understand why people have to have that mindset. And it just frustrates me as a whole, because these are the people that put out Game of Thrones. And when they want to make something about a set piece in history, oh no, fuck that shit. And then we got shows like A Man in the High Castle, and nobody bats an eye, and people are just like, oh no, it's fine. You're not talking about Nazism or anything. Like, listen, I love A Man on the High Castle, but then you do shit like this to this show, and it hasn't even started, because it's probably gonna start in like 2020. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand. But overall, we're gonna. I guess if you guys want to talk about it real quick, I'll be back in like 2 minutes. So I give you Inspector if you want to talk more about it.
Yeah, like the whole show is basically like, it's going to be the replacement for Game of Thrones, which I think is the main the main reason why people are bashing it, and it's basically like it's like I forgot what the pitch was. I think it was like it's all about like slavery in the Civil War, like, and people are creating the agendas like, oh, it's they're creating the agenda like you're I'm forgetting the word right now. I'm blanking. You're not idolizing, but like I'm forgetting the word. I'm blanking. Uh, I guess it's something about slavery. People are not liking how they're like just making it all about slavery, and people have been like complaining, like especially like about movies, how they only like how all the big like black people are all about slavery. So
Yeah.
that's where the agenda is. So what do you guys think about that, Claudia?
I have no words for that. I mean, slavery and stuff. I think it's speechless. I'm speechless by that, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm actually speechless by that, to be fair. I got no words for that, to be honest.
All DC fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't even hear about what they were trying to do with this whole, TV show with slavery and stuff, so I really have nothing to say about it.
Yeah. It was I think it was announced like last Wednesday, like right before Comic-Con. And I was actually at another
Oh.
Discord when they mentioned it. And
Yeah.
they were not big fans of the announcement, and I understand why. Just because like you go from Game of Thrones to this, and it's kind of like a big disconnect between like Game of Thrones, which is like high fantasy, like all about like family intrigue, and then you have this, which is all about slavery and like just like the trials and tribulations of slavery and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back, boys.
Okay.
Okay. Now we can switch topics. Now I want to stop talking about this.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about.
Let's talk about. Let's go to a cheerier topic, Frederick.
Actually, let's talk about the DC movie slate. I think that's what really we should talk about because this year's Comic-Con was amazing, and firstly I'll say that there was loads of movies announced, for the DCEU slate. I mean, we had the Batman movie, Shazam, Green Lantern Corps, the Batgirl, Suicide Squad 2, Wonder Woman 2, Flash. Well, now there's going to be a Flashpoint movie and Justice League Dark, all announced at Comic-Con. Personally, my expectations is that the fact that we have already got, I'm expecting some really cool things from Wonder Woman and Shazam and especially from Flashpoint. I'm expecting some really cool stuff. But we have already got, a release date for Wonder Woman 2, which is 13th of December 2019. Now I feel as if that will clash with, the Star Wars.
It's clashing with Frozen 2.
It's also clashing with Frozen 2. Okay, so if it's doing that, then I think they're gonna have to push it back.
They're not gonna push it back. Just seeing how good the first Wonder Woman is and how stiff that competition is, because Wonder Woman just passed 390 domestic here in the States, and it's 390 million, and it's coming up on I think 785 worldwide. So it's a big hit. It's like the biggest hit of the summer. It passed Guardians
2,
box office.
Yeah. So I mean, personally though, I think that it obviously will compete with other movies, but I wonder how well it will do for that. But I mean, we also got the apparently we got the Shazam movie also coming, and the Batman movies. Apparently, they got to work on the script obviously, and we've also got that stuff. And then, obviously the big thing was they showed the Justice League sneak peek trailer, and personally, I thought it was really cool what they showed, how Steppenwolf looked, and how um how they didn't exactly tease Superman, but they like teased him in such a way that it's so like you can feel it in your hands, like it's really really close.
But I think we should talk about the biggest news, which is the Black Manta costume reveal, which was actually a troll.
Oh
by the
yeah.
actor.
Wait a minute. Didn't you like post that or something? I forgot what it was.
I think I retweeted it. I found
You're like, I apologize. Isn't it? I was like, oh.
Yeah, I found that funny.
Well, I'll say this about Justice League trailer. I liked it. Loved everything about it. Now, only nitpick I have is just a nitpick. Is Wonder Woman's costume. I just love the Wonder Woman movie and just the costume itself, and I just really loved that version of the costume. And I would love to see it in that film, but I know
it's the same costume.
No, it's a little darker and stuff like that for me.
Oh yeah, it's just color grading, but
yeah, I don't like the color grading for it. I guess I like the color grading better in Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's I guess because directors, visions for it or versions for it. That's the only nitpick though. Overall, I just liked it a lot.
We're going to talk about the mustache, Henry Cavill's mustache.
Oh please don't get me started.
The memes are all over the internet now.
Yeah, the memes. Hold on. The memes are already on the internet.
Yeah, they're all over the internet.
They're already started.
I mean, though, let's be real though. It's not even Warner Brothers' fault. If this is like true and
Paramount.
stuff, it's Paramount. Like, I don't understand why they can't just, I guess, cut off his beard and make it like a fucking weave beard or something like that for him to wear. But that's just me, Or you can CGI a beard.
No, or they could put that sticky thing in. What's it called? That sticky beard. Fake beard.
Yeah, the fake beards.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm saying just shave his beard and make it like his own sticky beard from his actual beard.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of the slate, I like the slate. I think the movie that people are most iffy on is Suicide Squad 2, just because not a lot of people like Suicide Squad. I enjoy Suicide Squad for what it was. I like the first third of the movie. The other 2/3 were kind of a mess.
Yeah.
And that's I feel because of studio intervention, but
Yeah, it's because of the trailer company cut the movie, so that's why it was all a mess. And now they say David Ayer is they're looking WB is looking at David Ayer and maybe they're gonna cut him from Gotham City Sirens.
But that's not even his fault though. If it's true though, it's rumors
I know.
at this point.
Because if you've seen Fury, you know that David Ayer is a really good director.
But if I look at this as a person, maybe as a studio exec, and I'm saying, and I look at the film, and I look at what other people did to the film, I'm just it's not your fault.
Yeah. Your identity room was rated by the trailer company.
Yeah.
Not your fault.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. People like to bash David Ayer, but I think it's unwarranted. But in terms of the entire slate, I'm really happy that Wonder Woman 2 has a release date, and they announced it. It's weird that they didn't announce it at Comic-Con if they knew they would announce it
No. They released. Yeah, but the
release date.
The release date.
It's weird that they didn't.
That's on Tuesday.
I know it's weird that they would announce the release date at Comic-Con if they already had the release date planned.
They knew the plans for the release date, but not showing.
I don't know why they did that.
Maybe
that was weird.
Maybe it's because of the Justice League hype and because that movie because it comes out in November, so they have to push that up, and they also have to push up Aquaman as well because that comes out in 2018.
Yeah, the only movie coming out in 2018, and Shazam is going to start filming in 2018.
Yeah, so
I don't even have a star.
They don't have a star, but
they have a star for Black Adam.
Hold on, but there is a rumor going around.
The Rock isn't going to be in the movie. It's confirmed.
Oh, no. I thought people were saying when it was confirmed he's not going to be in the movie that he's still having his own separate movie.
Yeah, he's still having his own separate movie.
Yeah.
Because Sam is coming.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's
Black
weird
Adam.
though that they have Black Adam already starred, but no like release date for that movie.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm still iffy on Green Lantern Corps just because of David Goyer.
David Goyer and a buddy cop boy.
Yeah, David Goyer. I don't trust him with any superhero. Like I liked Man of Steel. I liked a lot of Man of Steel. The worst part of Man of Steel was the script, and that was David Goyer's fault.
David fucking S. Goyer.
Dude, he's working on two things, Krypton and this. It's like, wow.
Yeah, he's DC's errand boy. It's not DC. He's WB's like go-to writer, and I don't get why. Because like he's done like the Batman movies, which he didn't write the Batman movies. People like misinterpret that because Jonathan Nolan actually wrote the script for those movies.
Dark Knight trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah. David Goyer was just the idea man, like the story man. Like he didn't write the script. Suicide Squad 2, as I said, we have no idea what it is, so I'm not even going to judge it.
And we still have just two, front runners for and stuff like that. It's like it was male, but now it's iffy, and then it's one that who did
it's Colette Sarah, which I don't think has the best track record. He did
was it Shallows?
He did The Shallows. He also did the House of Wax remake.
Mm-hmm. Which a lot of people aren't liking that choice.
Yeah, and Justice League Dark is an interesting choice, even though they just lost Doug Liman as the director. As I said, I'm really excited for Wonder Woman 2. I really hope they go with I hope it's done present day and not the 80s, because I don't like Secret Spy Wonder Woman. I hope it's set in present day, and I hope she's like the ambassador to Themyscira like she was in the comics back in the early 2000s. And have Veronica Cale and Cheetah.
Mm-hmm.
And because Veronica Cale is kind of like her Lex Luthor, and Cheetah is her main villain. Let's see. Flashpoint, that's the one I'm most iffy on because I don't know how close of an adaptation it's going to be. Because if it's a close adaptation, I'm not agreeing with it. Yeah. Because I think it's too early, and it won't work unless they cap off the slate with it. Like if it's at the end of the slate, it will work fine, and it will go right into the next phase or tier, or whatever they're calling it. But if it's like in the middle of if it's like in the middle of the slate between let's say Justice League Dark and Green Lantern Corps, then it's going to mess up continuity. So it has to be right at the end of the slate if it's like a close adaptation. But if it's a loose adaptation and they don't use it to reboot, then it's fine, I guess. I'm still iffy on that. But the one thing that came to my mind is that in the Flashpoint story, if you don't know, Grifter was the leader of the Resistance, and Grifter is actually part of a separate universe called the Wildstorm universe, which was bought out by DC in the late 90s. So I was thinking if they do a closer adaptation of Flashpoint, they add Grifter in, maybe that will spin off into another universe with the Wildstorm characters, with Wildcats and Midnighter and the Authority and Stormwatch. But that might confuse people.
Yeah, I think that would confuse people. It's because the reason why I'm saying that is because just recently Wildstorm they're doing the comics for that. Just recently, Jim Lee's working on those.
The Wildstorm book is really good, and it's its own separate thing. If they don't want to use Grifter, they could just replace him with Red Hood, because Grifter is basically just Red Hood with ESP. That's what Grifter is. He basically has the Red Hood design, but the mask is different. It's like a full. It's not like a full helmet. It's basically like a mask.
Yeah.
But it's red and has black on it. So they could just replace him with Red Hood if they don't want to use Grifter. Because they're basically the same character. Other than that, yeah, the slate looks cool, I guess. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. What do you think, Red Hood?
Um, I want to say though quickly though for because I want to talk about the Wonder Woman release day,
Yeah.
because I know Inspector says that it has done numbers, and it has. It broke record. It's doing great domestically and internationally. Is like neck and neck. We said that off the podcast, and just
Yes.
talking casually. I do think though, me being worried because Wonder Woman hasn't had like stiff competition, and you're coming off with Star Wars.
Yeah.
A huge franchise, and I mean it broke records, and it's a $1 billion franchise. And
No,
Rogue One,
I thought episode 9 is going to be in May. So
no,
they're moving it back.
It was supposed to be in December. Like, I think that's what they're planning, and usually I think now it's going to always be the Christmas time.
Yeah,
because
it's gonna be
episode
an annual
8
thing.
always has done that. Like Han Solo's Christmas as well.
Yeah, it's
But
going to be
Han
an
Solo
annual
has
thing.
had some production troubles, so I don't know.
Yeah,
if
so it may get delayed too. So we have no idea. But just by going by pattern, if it did come out in, let's say, December, it would be stiff competition. But if it's just by itself,
movies
then
came
it's
out
fine.
in the summer.
Mhm.
This new Christmas schedule was just because of Force Awakens. Other than that, the other movies came out in like May, like late May, Memorial Day weekend. So
True.
yeah.
I'm saying though, like if it did somehow, it would it would be interesting to say for box office reasons. But yeah, Wonder Woman, I'm looking forward to. I do think I would rather see her present day though, in that aspect, just to see the ramifications of Justice League. Is just interesting to me. Always seeing present day films and just the ramifications of those foreseeable events, because we already got past Wonder Woman and it made sense to go that route for the origin story. And I think just seeing the ramifications of movies like Justice League to have an effect on that would be great. Kind of things I wanted to see with Iron Man 3, and I kind of didn't, because I'm not a big fan of Iron Man 3, was the ramifications for Avengers. And I wanted to see that with Justice League and how much that affects the universe. But I do think though, Flash, I wanted to say something about Flashpoint, because I say I'm a fan of what they're doing, but I'm also not. So I'm like the same with Inspector. I'm iffy on that aspect, because it's gonna, I know Inspector has a theory, and I don't think he wants to say it because it may somehow be spoilers or not. But I want to say though, Flashpoint was a build-up per se. I feel like it's kind of a build-up for something like that. But if you have the right writers and creative team, then it could be something great. But I feel though, having his first standalone film, that's interesting choice to take, because Justice League has to do something to his core, like an event that somehow he feels responsible for, or something like that, or they're going to change it, because everyone knows like the Flash point and how that actually happens, if they're going to stick to it, or it's going to be something kind of different, and who he rescues or whatnot.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a reminiscence of the animated movie where the Justice League gets involved.
And I could say the theory, because I think it's very fringe, so I don't think it's what's actually going to happen. So I was talking to somebody else, and they had this theory where, like Flashpoint, like in the nightmare scene in Batman v Superman, where Barry says she's the key, Lois Lane, she's the key. That's actually that's the Flashpoint theory going back in time to warn Bruce, but with that he created an alternate timeline. So the whole last half of Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad and Justice League, this is all an alternate timeline created by Barry, according to this theory. So I said it's very fringe because I don't agree with that, because that means that would retcon out Wonder Woman's return to the world and all that stuff. Yeah, Superman wouldn't have died, but it also retcons out Wonder Woman and her return to the world, and like Batman being like a more not cheery but more optimistic Batman. So I don't agree with this theory, but I saw where he was coming from. So yeah.
Uh-huh. But I think, personally myself, I think they're going to use the long hair Flash like they did with BVS. I think that's going to be the case. If that theory turns out to be true,
the long hair Flash was just like the video. So, what did he have long hair when he was from the future though?
I think Ezra Miller just has long hair in general.
Yeah, long hair in general. Yeah,
because he doesn't have long hair in the Justice League trailers or any of that.
No, it was when he was shooting BVS. He had long hair, and that was also in the the little clip thing that he did, and also the nightmare scene.
Personally, I just like Ezra with the short hair. I don't know. That's just me though.
Yeah, me. Yeah, I agree with that. But if what inspectors just sold us, if turns out to be true, then what does that leave us with Justice League 2? You see?
Yeah.
Because
and I also love during the Justice League panel at Comic-Con, a kid came up to the mic to ask this is Justice League where Superman, and Jason Momoa was like, I don't know if you heard, kid, but he's dead.
Oh yeah.
No, he's alive.
Yeah. And then at the signing, he's the same kid came over for the signing, and he's like, "Don't worry, kid, Superman's alive."
Thanks. Everyone knows that, but Jason Momoa is a chill dude. If you see, I've said that.
Dude, Jason Momoa is like a super chill person. He's so awesome.
He's if you see him in Game of Thrones, dude, that dude, when he's acting like that, he could be super intense.
Yeah.
As Khal Drogo in the first season of Game of Thrones, I'm like, I would never fuck with this guy. And then seeing this dude just the way he acts in person is completely different.
Yeah, because you just see him running through the crowd with his tridents and just banging his head.
Oh yeah, I was just
banging it on the floor. And I was like, whoa. So I
thought he was gonna break. I thought he was gonna break the tridents.
Yeah, I thought that as well because I thought it was a prop, an actual prop.
Yeah.
Because those break easily.
Dude, I'm gonna say this though, but there's no hate on this dude. Chris Hardwick. Dude, I feel like sometimes his jokes are just they don't land with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does all the superhero panels. DC and Marvel, and it's I don't know, it just never clicks with me. His jokes.
It doesn't fit for both sides. I think if you're gonna have somebody to come up there on stage, you should be someone what's his name, somebody that actually knows about comic books genuinely.
Like Kevin Smith.
Yeah, someone like Kevin Smith. Yeah. True. What else can we say about DC EU? I'm trying to think.
We didn't get.
We already talking about Wonder Woman.
Yeah, we didn't get Marvel DC fans.
Oh yeah, Marvel DC fan. You got anything to say?
What's your opinions on the slate?
It's the whole slate. I mean, it's interesting. There's a couple movies that I'm not really that excited for. I'm optimistic about it, but Batgirl, I'm optimistic about it. Suicide Squad, maybe I'll go see it. Flashpoint is interesting, but I'd rather just have for the first solo Flash film, just have it Flash, being the Flash. But
the origin,
yeah. Well, just I don't know, him fighting the Rogues or something like that. Make that for a movie rather than just Flashpoint. But I'm excited for the DC movies. I'm hoping that we have a steady rate of good movies as we go along. But for right now, I'm excited for Justice League. and I'm really like I have really high hopes for future DC.
Yeah, I gotcha. It's just I think they need to reassure people with just like the directors. And what I said, Suicide Squad's the prime example.
Yeah.
I feel like they should somehow just go out of their way, just like they did with Matt Reeves. They bend the knee to Matt Reeves, and they were like, Warner Brothers was like, "We won't fuck with you. You got creative decision with this," and Matt Reeves is like, "Thank you," and goes along. I think they should do the same thing with Mel Gibson, because as much shit as people give Mel Gibson, the dude does his fucking work and his homework with shit he does with. And he does it with any film. He does it with war films. He did it with was it The Passion? Hacksaw Ridge. He does all, like, he reads a lot of shit. Like, it takes him a while. And what he would have done with this was read a lot of runs, a lot of comics about Suicide Squad. And, I feel like it would have worked. I feel like they could do something with that and have Mel Gibson be a part of that. But that's my thoughts on having that. They just need to get a good steady directors, good reliable directors as well, and writers too. Just kick out Goyer, get a new writer for Green Lantern, and you should be great for that.
Just have Jeff Johns write Green Lantern. Like, you can get another like screenwriter, but like Jeff Johns made his name writing for Green Lantern, so you can just get him as a co-writer.
So Damien, what's your thoughts on the DCEU slate?
I think it's good so far. There's obviously a few movies missing, but I'm glad they didn't just announce 15 movies. So they just set it at 8 movies. I mean, excluding Aquaman. Yeah, the Wonder Woman release date, December 13th, 2019. I'm surprised they didn't announce the main role for Shazam. I thought they were gonna name a cast for Shazam. Also, I think 2019 we're gonna have The Flash, The Batman, and Wonder Woman 2. So that's 3 movies to look forward to in 2019. Also, David F. Sandberg confirmed to direct Shazam, and also he also drew the concept art for the Shazam costume. I mean, it wasn't like a real concept art though. He just drew it, but just to be a tease. But yeah, and yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't announce Man of Steel 2, but maybe in the future. Maybe they don't have the stuff they have for that movie right now. And I think the thing with Green Lantern, I think the movie's set to release 2020, and Jeff Johns is working on the Wonder Woman 2 script right now. So that's probably got him busy. So, yeah.
Yeah, overall, I'm excited for some of the films, and some I'm not so excited for. But overall, DC did a good job. Aquaman quickly saved footage. Everyone loved the footage. He did confirm Ocean Master is in the film, and he said he may get in trouble. I don't know. Usually, you never know if actors.
Really short. They said it was really short footage.
It's probably 30 seconds.
Yeah, probably a minute long.
Well, Ocean Master was confirmed to be in the film. They already got the guy.
Well, no, it was more leaked and stuff like that about it.
No, it wasn't. They announced it 4 months ago. They announced Patrick Wilson was playing Ocean Master.
Yeah,
because he's a regular James Wan collaborator, because he The Conjuring and the Insidious movies. So
yeah.
Also, guys, continue with this topic for I guess just the DCEU as a whole, like what you guys would want to see for future films and stuff like that. I'll be back in like 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. In my opinion, I have a problem with people like pitching stories for these movies just because they want adaptations, and I don't think adaptations are the right way to go, because if let's say we have Batman, which is also on the slate, Matt Reeves Batman with Ben Affleck. People say, "Oh, I want Red Hood. Oh, I want Hush. Oh, I want this and that," but they have to understand that a straight adaptation really handcuffs the director and his vision.
Yeah.
So, because he has to follow that story. So, the good thing is when a director takes bits and pieces of the story, like different stories, and puts them together into one movie. But like sometimes that doesn't work. Like Batman v Superman, which was like Dark Knight Returns, and Death of Superman, and Dark Knight Rises, which was No Man's Land, and Nightfall, because those stories don't mesh. You have to have, because those movies were basically like amalgamations of both stories, and I think that was a problem with those two movies. Even though like I'm not the biggest fan of Dark Knight Rises, but I did like Batman v Superman.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I think Matt Reeves just needs to do his own thing. Ben Affleck is still on board to return. Don't listen to John Campea or any of those other bloggers.
Mm-hmm.
Or YouTubers.
Or YouTubers, all that. For Batgirl, they might go with Killing Joke, even though I think that's too dark. For a Batgirl movie, they might just do like a Batgirl movie with Batgirl, not do a Killing Joke, even though, because Killing Joke is more of not a Batgirl story, but like a Barbara Gordon story, because Batgirl's not in the book. It's just Barbara Gordon. And she's just there to get shot. Green Lantern, I really want to see Atrocitus, because we got Sinestro in the last movie, and I think people want to forget about the last movie as much as they can. So I think a good way to do that is bring in Atrocitus and the Red Lanterns, because I think it's in terms of the fan base for Green Lantern, because I'm a big Green Lantern fan, it's pretty much half and half on people who love the Red Lantern Corps and people who love the Sinestro Corps, because those are like the two main villains of the Green Lantern Corps. And I think, even though he's the main choice for Jon Stewart, I think Idris Elba would be an amazing Atrocitus, just because if you saw him in Jungle Book, he was amazing as Shere Khan, and he has like that presence and the voice that would be great for Atrocitus. And of course, Atrocitus would be all CGI.
Yep.
I know people don't like all CGI villains, because Ares was all CGI, Doomsday was all CGI, now Steppenwolf is all CGI. Zod was like 80% CGI. Like the suit, the whole Zod suit was CGI. So I don't know how people would like react to that, because I know people are getting sick of all these all CGI villains, even though Marvel's villains, not Marvel, like the Chitauri was all CGI, but those were all cannon fodder. But other than that, like they use like practical makeup. But I want to see Atrocitus. We already got Flash.
How would you feel about, the Blue Lantern Corps? Because don't forget, I mean, they showed that big image thing of all the characters to be in the DCEU. One of them was the Blue Lantern.
Yeah.
So how would you feel it?
And that whole big thing, like the DC intro, they like in Hall H, they have like this thing where like the screens fold out and becomes like a 360 view, and they show like the big DC intro thing, but like full light so you can see all the characters. And they show like Shazam and like Atrocitus and the Blue Lanterns and Midnighter and like all those, and like
Time Master as well.
And yeah, But I think just like the Marvel, like the old Marvel, like intro before they changed it for Civil War.
Yeah.
I think half of those characters are not going to be in the movies.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much. Because
Too many DC
like
characters to put
too many
into.
DC characters to put into like 10 movies. I would like to see the Blue Lanterns, even though there's only like 2 or 3 Blue Lanterns. And plus, you have to set up, because the whole point of the Blue Lanterns is that 2 of the Guardians of the Universe, Ganthet and Sade, they got banished from the Guardians. So you would have to set that up, because those are the people who created the Blue Lantern Corps. And after them, like, there's Saint Walker, who was the main one, and then there's Warth, who was the second one. And those are like the only 2 Blue Lanterns. I would love to see Blackest Night, but I don't think they'll ever do Blackest Night because Blackest Night is way too big.
And they'll have to use a lot of CGI for that as well.
They'll have to use a lot of CGI, and like none of the characters have died, so except for Superman, but they're bringing Superman back.
He's not dead.
So
Guys,
Blackest Night,
worry.
yeah, Blackest Night wouldn't work, because like after that, before that they would have to do Final Crisis or like some type of crisis and kill Batman, because the whole point of Blackest Night is that Batman is dead. But in like, if you know from the comics, he wasn't actually dead. He was actually traveling through time, and it's super convoluted. I don't want to get into it.
You know,
Final Crisis.
So interesting
It's
what
one of
you
the
said.
most convoluted stories.
Yeah.
Ever in the comics.
What's so interesting is when you said the Bat is dead. It's like the reference to what the Batman versus Superman, and when Superman says the Bat is dead, bury it. Consider this mercy, and it's gonna be weird. But I honestly think, for the DCEU slate, I think so far we've had amazing movies announced so far, except for the Black Adam, which I think they need to really focus. They need to focus.
I really want the Black Adam movie soon, because I love The Rock. I love Black Adam. If you guys haven't read 52, Black Adam has a great story in that. It basically, Black Adam, he's the leader of this country called Kahndaq. He's basically a dictator, and like in the story, in his story, there's this group called Intergang, which is basically like Interpol but like crime based, and they give like Intergang was trying to bring Black Adam into their organization by giving him like gifts, and they gave him this gift called like I don't want to say it's they gave him this gift. Her name was Adriana Tomaz, who became Isis, like the Egyptian goddess. She got the powers from Billy Batson, because at that point Billy Batson actually inherited the power of the Rock of Eternity, so he became the Wizard of Shazam.
Yeah.
And like he actually got a family, but the thing is that family got taken away from him because they got killed. So he basically murdered an entire country. Like he just went to the country and just like murdered everyone. It's a really dark story. That like he started World War III. It's a whole story. It's very complicated. Mm-hmm. So yeah, read that story if you want a really good Black Adam story. And like Dwayne Johnson is just a great guy, even though it's really weird that he decided to play a villain, because whenever I see The Rock, he's always smiling.
Yeah.
Or he makes funny jokes. But it's like, with me, like I think they should focus on it is because the reason is because Superman is probably going to be in the movie. I mean, there's rumors of Superman appearing in the Shazam movie as well. I mean, there was something on Instagram or something of a picture of the the cover of the animated movie, the Superman Shazam story. So somebody posted that on Instagram. So I was like thinking, what if they did, if the Black Adam was in the Shazam movie. Imagine if Superman was in both.
Mm-hmm.
But
That'd be
I
interesting.
I think what the big case would be for Shazam and for the Black Adam movie, Superman will be in both of them because he's gonna apparently he'll be a mentor for Shazam. There's no way
Yeah,
there's no way
just
that
like Batman, just like Batman is a mentor to Flash.
yeah, it's like the mentor for the Flash. He's a mentor for so many league members, and
Mhm.
and I
Yeah.
can see this. I can see you know Shazam movie doing well, really well because The Rock is a big name,
Mhm.
and to be fair, I mean he has done well over the last few movies he's done. Fast Eight. Well, I won't talk about Fast Eight that much, but I mean he's also done like San Andreas and he's also I mean he's even on Ballers, which is also a really good television show. So he's doing all of this stuff and they're doing very good ratings. Now for him to get the Black Adam movie out before 2020, I think it would be a big hit.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you guys think the Secret Six could really work out in the DCEU or
Oh,
no?
I really want the Secret Six. If you guys don't know what the Secret Six is, it's basically this team. It was created, well, it was created back in like the 70s, but the main run was by Gail Simone in the late 2000s, right after Infinite Crisis. And basically what it is that, but you have to set up the secret society of supervillains. That's the main problem with the Secret Six. Basically what it is during the events of Infinite Crisis, there was a secret society of supervillains led by Alexander Luthor of Earth 3, who was posing as Earth Prime, Earth 1's Lex Luthor. And he was going around recruiting villains. And there was a certain group of villains that said no to the society, and they created the Secret Six. And the Secret Six, like the main team, like there was like a little team during villain, like they were created during Villains United, and like there was Villains United, which was the Infinite Crisis tie-in, and then there was a mini series, and then there was an ongoing series. They were all written by Gail Simone, and like the main team in the book, like the ongoing book, was Deadshot, who was a part of the Suicide Squad, but during that time, the Suicide Squad was disbanded.
Gorilla Grodd.
It was Deadshot, Bane,
Mhm.
Scandal Savage, who was the daughter of Vandal Savage.
Talia al Ghul.
Not
Oh wait.
not Talia al Ghul. Ragdoll. Now I'm blanking.
Wait, was Black Adam there or no?
No, Black Adam was part of the Secret Society
Oh.
until they betrayed him after Infinite Crisis. Catman, which is the main character, him and Deadshot are like the leaders of the team.
Yeah.
And Catman is kind of like Batman, but he's like a game hunter and he's a tracker. He's kind of like Craven, but not.
Like a bounty hunter?
Kind of. He's more of like a tracker. But like the Suicide Squad, their ranks shift between like different stories. Like in the first story, they had a girl named Tarantula who was like a FBI agent, a former FBI agent, and then they created Bane created their own Secret Six, and that had like Giganta and other like D-list villains. So I really want the Secret Six because it's one of my favorite like series ever. But they would have to set up the Secret Society first.
And they would have to, create an Infinite Crisis movie as well. But the problem with that, Supergirl's not even in the DCU. Like they haven't got a actor to play her.
They don't have a multiverse, so they can't even do Crisis.
They can't do Infinite Crisis now.
Like for Infinite Crisis, you have to have Crisis on Infinite Earths, and to have Crisis on Infinite Earths, you have to have a multiverse.
Yeah,
they don't have a multiverse. At least they haven't acknowledged the multiverse. There probably is one, but they haven't acknowledged it yet.
Yeah.
So
unlikely in the DCU, but it's like
I mean, if they're gonna do it like
it's more likely in an animated movie though.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were ever gonna do a DC multiverse type of movie, they would have to bring Brandon Routh and Christian Bale back. for
Yeah.
both Superman and Batman retrospectively.
Yeah,
But they're
that's
not going to do
gonna
that.
happen.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
But that's not
Um,
going to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't have a Supergirl either. I mean, you can't bring back Helen Slater because she's old.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're stuck there. And that is a fact with the DCU. But I mean, overall though, I think, as what we said about the DCU slate, I think so far it looks good, but we need more stuff to be announced, as soon as they can. I mean,
Man of Steel 2.
bring Man of Steel 2, you said?
Yeah, they need to announce Man of Steel 2. Like
Oh.
it was not part of the slate.
Yeah,
I'm
they
back.
need to. Okay, so if they announce that, right,
Hmm.
I think they should bring what's his name, the guy's name, the guy who played Zordon in Power Rangers.
Oh,
Bryan
Bryan
Because-
Cranston?
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston for Brainiac, right? And
That'd be interesting.
somebody to play Supergirl.
Mhm.
I mean,
That's
what
interesting.
would you agree? Would you agree with me on that, or no?
Oh no.
You said this is for the second movie?
No,
Yeah,
we're just speculating.
No. I
Speculate.
know the speculation, but I'm saying, is that what you said you wanted for the second movie or third?
Second,
Man of Steel 2.
Man of
Talking
Steel
about Man
2.
of Steel 2.
Yeah, I
That
want.
wasn't played.
I would personally, I would rather see Supergirl in the third movie. That's my whole thing for.
Yeah,
Because when you do like introduce a character like that in that turn, it's just like you're also like, I feel kind of taking away that, I don't want to say like solo feel to it, but like I would rather have a strictly solo Superman film like Man of Steel was,
Mhm.
and then you can introduce it in the third movie. But I don't know who the villain I would want to have in a second solo Superman film. I would love to see other characters we haven't seen. Like it could be like Brainiac. I don't know about Bizarro.
No, don't do Bizarro.
Yeah, see, like I'm like mad about that idea because people say, "Oh, Bizarro." I'm like, I don't know.
People say Metallo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think of any
Parallax.
other one.
Oh wait, I think that's
Yeah.
it. No,
that's pretty much it. So why don't we move on?
Parasite?
Yeah, Parasite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it for the DCEU stuff.
Okay,
Let's-
now we'll go to the Marvel side of things.
Yeah. Let's talk about Marvel.
And just talk what they put out, and this is public and non-public information. Of course, I think what they started off with was Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I don't know the actor. I know the actress. I don't know the actress they hired.
Michelle
Supposedly.
Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer.
She was Catwoman in Batman Returns.
Yes.
Yep.
Didn't know her name. It's just supposedly she got what? I don't know if it was Oscars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or she was nominated for stuff like that. And she is the Wasp, the mother of with Hank Pym's wife.
First Wasp.
Mhm.
Call it.
And I kind of like the concept art they showed. And then you got
Lawrence Fishburne.
which I think is interesting because is he in Justice League or no?
No, he's not in Justice League.
Okay.
He's not in it.
Is his contract up with DC or what?
I think he just left Justice League. I don't think he wanted to be a part of it,
Oh.
or like they didn't have anything for him to do. Like they didn't have anything for him to do in Batman v Superman. He was just there.
Yeah. So, his comments were interesting because people were just, and what I mean by that was the interview stuff about Marvel and DC because no one knew what was happening with him. And now you hear he's going into Ant-Man the Wasp as a Goliath man or his, that ego form. And, that was interesting. Cool casting news on that front. And then we got into like really interesting territory with Captain Marvel. I feel they took inspiration for like, in terms of the past stuff for like, Wonder Woman and it being in the 90s and because they're in different time periods, but I'm talking about in the past sense. And also Skrulls being involved, which has a lot of interesting things they can do with that. And I'm very interested in that way. And then, of course, Nick Fury is going to be a part of the movie, and he's supposed to have both of his eyes. And this has to come into play that, one of the Avengers may be a Skrull. My theory is it's not going to be a main Avenger. I think it's going to be a supporting Avenger like War Machine or I don't know. It's really up in the air.
A B-class Avenger, basically.
Yeah, like War Machine or Falcon or something like that. I don't think, like Captain America or Iron Man is a Skrull. But I think they could do very interesting things. I did like the concept art for the Skrulls and Captain Marvel, and it was cool. They showed Black Panther footage. We didn't get to see it.
I didn't like that because like they showed after they showed the Black Panther footage, they showed the cast dancing around like idiots.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of annoyed me.
No, apparently that got leaked though. The Black.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't see it.
I didn't even hear about that.
I know everybody saw the leaked Infinity War trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Thor came into the scenes. It's supposed to be the shortest Marvel movie to date. Also, it confirms that Surtur is supposed to be in the film because he's at the ending of the trailer. Fenrir, or I don't know how to pronounce some of these names. Fenrir, it's like the big wolf. People speculate that's that character. You have Hulk with his new haircut, and now he can talk because he's been Hulk for a couple. I don't know if it's a year or two, but he hasn't. Yeah, he hasn't been Bruce for a long time, and that's why he can talk. He can't talk like freaking Bruce Banner can talk, but he can talk like basic communications. And personally, I like the film. I know some people may disagree with the trailer. I liked it. I liked what I saw. And I can understand some concern that this is Ragnarok. It should be taken more seriously. But like in my aspect, they've always said that this film isn't supposed to be a super serious film. And I was into that mindset already. So I was fine with it. I can understand where people are coming from, though, where it's not super serious. I do think, though, when seeing the film that there may be some serious moments, and I think they'll do that, but majority of it will, of course, be, comedy.
And also, Taika Waititi said he was aiming for a runtime of 1 hour and 40 minutes, which is the shortest Marvel movie length. So,
yep. And then in that news, you got Avengers: Infinity War supposed to be the longest Marvel movie to date. Personally, and when I think about films in terms of, being in both super long or super short, I feel like it has to service the story. And sometimes films suffer when a film is too short. Sometimes film suffers when it's too long. And like, you just have to find that perfect median. And when you think that runtime is, where it's not too bloated and scenes aren't dragged out too long in that aspect. So personally, when I think Avengers Infinity War, you have so many characters and they need to feel integral to the story and feel natural to the story. And, you have to give this, as much screen time as possible when dealing with, Doctor Strange, the Guardians, Mantis, Nebula, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, Black Panther, like so many characters. Ant-Man. And Ant-Man's actually in the poster, though. Like, you could actually see him on Iron Man's shoulder in the Avengers poster.
Yeah. Do you think it'll be like a 5 minute for each character or no? Or 10 minute per character?
I don't know. Like, supposedly Spider-Man's supposed to have
majority
20
of
minutes. Supposedly, that was the rumor going around. It's supposed to be 20 minutes.
And supposedly there's like a 45-minute fight scene in the movie.
Which is crazy.
45-minute fight scene.
I mean, it is a war. So it's going to be interesting to see that.
Yeah,
like, this is... Yeah, you go.
Well, it's kind of like the last two Avengers movies, where the last fight scene is like the last 40 minutes of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not surprised there.
But just remember
I
that
just hope-
this movie comes out in May,
Oh,
not in June or July, guys.
yeah,
It has,
so-
I don't think it has any competition
Like-
for May, right?
No,
I don't
no
think so.
competition. No
Wait,
competition.
is this a standalone or is this like a part 1, part 2?
No, so they're saying it was supposed to be part 1 and part 2, but when they were making the story, it's like its own separate story. That's what I'm hearing. I could be wrong. If anyone wants to correct
it's
me
not
now.
gonna like have a part 2 or anything like for Avengers 4.
No,
No,
it's supposed to be directly after it, like right after.
Okay, the only big competition it has is Han Solo is still slated for Memorial Day weekend, but that's like 3 weeks after it releases. Then after that is Deadpool 2, and then Incredibles 2
Yeah,
in June, and
It's
Jurassic
fine.
World 2.
yeah. Overall, yeah, no competition. It's the biggest
It's a bummer. really.
bummer for what? The competition or for just being the only movie there?
Only competition. Like
Yeah.
you gotta have it competing against something.
I mean, hey, if it makes the most money out of like the month, like that's what I said. I said in the last episode, Spider-Man should have been in a different date. War should have been in a different date because so they can make the most money. So
Yeah.
not many
But I-
people have.
But I
so
don't think
much.
Spider-Man had anywhere to go, because if it was moved up, it would be closer to Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But if it was moved down, it would be closer to Dunkirk. So
Yeah, it's hard to make those calls. But what I was saying though, like Avengers is supposed to be the biggest film for them to date, of course, and I don't know how much money the budget is for that film.
I think like 400 million, something like that.
And that's not
Because
including.
you have to pay all like the 67 main actors that are in the movie.
Oh yeah,
Then
Oh, yeah.
like just the production budget in general with all the sets and the CGI and all
and
that
not
stuff.
including marketing.
Not
And
including
also-
marketing.
And also, there's a rumor about the Baxter Building taking over the Avengers Tower and all of that.
No, that's not happening.
That's not happening. The Fantastic
Yeah,
Four is
yeah,
not coming in.
we're going to talk about that after the Marvel, big stuff. I would say though, it's the biggest movie to date. They built this for so many years, and to see this come is like a fan's dream. And I really love what they're doing with this. There's so much buildup and having all these characters' backstory, and just seeing them all come together. And seeing Nomad, Captain America though was like super, like those images for him in Avengers poster was so cool. I liked him because he's supposed to not have the star anymore.
No,
Yeah.
he doesn't.
He looks like he looks like Chris Evans did in Snowpiercer, like with the beard.
Yeah.
If
And
you
now
guys have
people
seen Snowpiercer-
want him as like Solid Snake and Naked Snake and
Yeah,
Metal
like-
Gear.
He doesn't look like Solid Snake.
Yeah, when they put the bandana on him now. I was like, actually, that could work. I'm down for Chris Evans.
Yeah.
And I'm
You know
just
what's interesting is that for the next movie after Avengers Infinity War, for the second Avengers movie, what if they bring Ultron back?
I don't think he'll be in the film. I'm hearing though that I don't know if this is rumors or anything, but are some villains supposed to come back in the film or something like that?
Oh no.
No, I don't know. I mean, I know the Time Stone will probably be used.
Because I'm hearing
Bring
Loki was
Quicksilver back. I bet we won't see that coming.
he'll come back. I don't know if he will because the whole Fox deal with
Situation.
Quicksilver.
Hey, do you think the Stan Lee cameo is going to be anything special for Infinity War? Or
Oh
not?
yeah, I think
Oh
so.
hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! It'll be.
It's
It'll
got to
be
be like Ultimate or
He's-
something like that.
He's
Yeah.
gonna be the one above all, just looking over everything.
Do you think Watchers are gonna have a part of this film?
I don't know. They were just like a little thing. I think they're just like a little Easter egg in Guardians 2.
And then they hired Peter Dinklage, right? So I was
Yeah.
wondering what character he's playing. I was always wondered by wondering that. I don't know if that was Infinity War or the fourth movie he was supposed to be in.
It
Some
might
people
be.
were saying.
It might be the fourth movie because, I mean, if it was for Infinity War, then they would have shown something for him towards the end of the
Or
trailer.
maybe he's one of the children of Thanos.
Maybe, who knows? I mean, Gamora is there, so, and Nebula, so
'Cause there's supposed to be 4 other children. Like, is it the Black Order or something like that?
Oh,
right?
the Black Order aren't really his children. They're more like
He's
just his elite guard.
Elite Guard. Okay.
Yeah. Like people say they're his children, but they're not.
Is Red Skull ever gonna come back?
I don't know.
Maybe Red Skull was a scroll. Maybe everyone was a scroll.
Dude,
oh,
that would be
imagine
a troll move if everyone was a scroll. Even
That's what they did.
Thanos was a scroll.
That's what they did in Secret Invasion. Like
would
basically
be
everyone
cool.
was a scroll.
Lied to you.
All villains are scrolls. All heroes are scrolls.
Believe in her.
Oh
But
my
imagine,
God.
no, if they bring back Red Skull, that would mean they would have to bring what's his name back.
Captain America.
Didn't they confirm Red Skull was never dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Samuel,
They would have to-
Samuel L. Jackson kind of confirmed it until like they yelled at him for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It has something to do with the Cosmic Cube, right? I don't know. Loki, I heard from leaked images, like the leaked trailers, people were telling me like Loki has like the Cosmic Cube or something like that.
Yeah.
He has a part to play, so I don't know. More villains may have a part to play, but this is the biggest film to date, and I can't wait to see something for, in terms of the Justice League, for DCEU when Darkseid comes to play. I would like to see that, and I'm a fan of both, and I think both are. It's just going to be great for both fans seeing everything
hell
come
yeah.
to head.
Yeah. Do you think
Go on.
Do you think like any comic book movie really like challenges Infinity War though? Like,
No, I think when Justice League has that build up to Darkseid, it won't rival it. Like both films will be great in of itself.
Of its
They're
own perspective, yeah, on its own merit, basically.
they're both like their own things. Darkseid's different than Thanos, and you got different characters, and it's just different. Like they're not the same.
Because there's the big Darkseid versus Thanos debate.
yeah.
So don't even get started on that.
Don't start on that. But just
What I said, yeah. All I said was like they're different on their own. I love both of those characters, and I'm not a fanboy of either company. Like I don't get a stock in any company. I don't make money off of any company.
You get paid by both of them.
Oh yeah, I get paid by both to say good things.
and we don't want to discuss the Thanos thing. Like a certain YouTuber goes off on Twitter and says, "Oh, I like this and I like that about certain characters," and then starts a debate war, basically.
Yeah. There we go.
But like all in all, I'm a comic book fan, a comic book movie fan, and I like the films. If I criticize one side, people will say I'm a fanboy of the other. When I criticize the other side, they're saying I'm a fanboy of the other. Like I criticize Iron Man 2 and 3, and then Thor 1 and 2. You're a DC fan. I criticize BVS and Suicide Squad. I'm a fanboy of Marvel. And then I'm like, I love Arrow.
It's
And
weird that
I disliked Iron Fist. I'm a fanboy of.
It's weird that people use fanboy as a derogatory term when it shouldn't be used as a derogatory term.
It would be like a last resort thing when it comes down to these types of debates. Like, you're a Marvel fanboy, you're a DC fanboy, and that's the last resort they can use.
Being a fanboy is a good thing. Like if you're a fanboy, that just means you're a fan of the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
but I mean, when extreme people though, like extreme people, they would take it as a last resort.
Yeah.
But not like comic book people, but like I'm talking in extreme people like collectors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To take it to that extent.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna go, I guess, because we haven't we had mostly my opinion, and we're just gonna go around the the room and have other people talk about the slate, what they showed, concept art, trailers, descriptions, whatever. Well, we'll start with Inspector for that.
I'm still really excited for Black Panther. I really want to see the footage, even though they didn't show it off to the public. Like everyone, I did see the Infinity War leak trailer. It was good for what I heard and what I saw. I couldn't see half the screen, and the person holding the camera was yelling all the time, so I couldn't really but yeah, the trailer was good. Thor trailer, as Red Hood said, I thought it was too jokey for me. Like visually, it looks like Guardians, which it's good. I like the way Guardians looks, even though I don't think that kind of look works good for Thor. But it still looks really good. I feel Hulk's design changes with each movie.
Mm-hmm.
His design was different in the first Avengers, and then in Avengers: Age of Ultron, and now this. But I'm still iffy on Thor. I haven't been a big fan of the Thor movies up to date in general. Other than that, Captain Marvel being set in the 90s, I don't like the 90s setting, but I like how they're introducing Skrulls. That just introduces a whole way to retcon everything in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, those are my opinions on the Marvel stuff.
Oh yeah, what about the casting for Ant-Man and Wasp?
The casting is fine. It's weird that all these people are saying, oh, Michelle Pfeiffer, Catwoman is now in they just bring oh, they were in a DC movie before and now they're in a Marvel movie now. But
betrayal.
I don't like how they betrayal.
You'll be like traitor.
Yeah. So and it's interesting that they're bringing Goliath in. So that probably means that it's weird that it's called Ant-Man and the Wasp, which probably he will be half Ant-Man and half Giant Man in this movie. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming, since they have Goliath, and Goliath is basically the black Giant Man. I'm not being racist. That's what he is. He's the black Giant Man. But yeah, cool castings. I have nothing bad to say about it.
All right, and a theory on who are Skrulls? Who are the Skrulls in Avengers?
I think Spider-Man is a Skrull.
Oh shit!
And I think maybe Black Widow.
Yeah,
maybe. Or Scarlet Witch.
If you say Black Widow,
females,
that's crazy.
One of the females, I think, is a Skrull, because the whole point of Secret Invasion is that they don't have Elektra, but Elektra was a Skrull. Maybe Miss Marvel is a Skrull this whole time, or Captain Marvel is a Skrull this whole time,
or Nick Fury.
Oh, that'd be crazy. Now you're talking crazy.
Oh yeah.
If Nick Fury has been a Skrull this whole time.
No, but though thinking about if Black Widow's a Skrull, dude, she's like a insider spy, a spy within a spy.
She's a spyception.
Spyception, boy. Talade, what do you think about the slate and what they gave out and what they didn't show to the public and what they did?
Well, I saw all the trailers, like the Infinity War, and also the Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok didn't appeal to me, at all. It doesn't it doesn't click with me. I don't know why, but it doesn't click. But when I watched the Infinity War trailer, I really enjoyed that. That was really funny. The trailer was really funny to me. It appealed to me a lot. So I mean, it's just a shame there's no HD quality for that. I mean, it had to be leaked, obviously, but it's a shame Marvel didn't release it. And I think if they released it officially, I think it would have been perfect. It would have been a perfect thing for Marvel to say, all right, we've done 2 big trailers. well, one of them being for 2017 and another one being for May 2018, but both of these movies are set close to date. I think that would be the perfect thing. But I mean, as well for this casting, myself, I think it was a really good choice to have Michelle Pfeiffer to be the first Wasp. I mean, it would have been. I mean, she's a great actress. I know she played Catwoman in the Batman Returns movie. She was great in that. But I mean, even you guys might go off, oh, but you're a DC fanboy. You'll say this stuff, but she's a great actress. And
Betrayal.
no, I'm just saying in general. And Lawrence Fishburne. Now, I mean, he's a great actor. I mean, he's played in movies such as The Matrix and also been in BVS and Man of Steel. So, I mean, for him to move on to the MCU, I would like to see what he brings to the table. So that's what I think about that. Now, for the scroll stuff, I'm saying there's going to be 2 scrolls. I think, or 2 or 3, I should say. The 3 people I'd say would be, one of them would be Captain America, because don't forget, in the comics there was one comic where he turned against the Avengers. And another scroll would be, I would think, would be Black Widow, because she has betrayed the Avengers before, and I've actually seen it on the cartoon television shows where she betrayed the Avengers.
So you're digging that spyception.
What is that supposed to mean?
Spy within a spy, man.
It's that 007, right? Okay.
Well, it's more than 007.
Man, we're gonna get Chris Nolan up in this bitch, or like what?
Yeah. Maybe he's assisting. Who knows?
No, but the thing is, I mean, the third scroll I would probably say would be. I'm not saying it's going to be Spider-Man, but I think it's probably going to be someone close to Spider-Man, though.
Aunt May Scroll.
Scroll confirmed. I'm digging it, man.
That's what I have to say about that.
All right, that's interesting. All right, Marvel DC fan, what did you think about the news, the movie trailers that weren't released to the public, concept arts,
everything,
everything, all that?
Well, from the trailers I did see, I mean, like Thor Ragnarok. I mean, I know like it might be a little too jokey for some people, but I enjoyed it. Like, I thought it was kind of funny, and I'm really excited for Ragnarok. I'm really excited for Black Panther too. Concept art from Ant-Man, and it looks good. And hearing that Michelle Pfeiffer, I wasn't expecting that casting, but thinking about it fits. Like, I like it, so yeah. But I'm really excited to see him in Wasp, and then from what I've heard with Avengers: Infinity War, I mean, I've been watching these movies since it started, so of course. And like I've been build up to Thanos, and everybody's fighting him. So of course I'm gonna go fucking see Infinity War. Like, it all looks good to me.
Nice. And who do you think is a Skrull?
I was trying to think of heroes, but I can't really think of that. But there was one. Happy.
Happy?
Happy?
Oh.
Happy being Scroll.
GG. John Farrell is a Skrull now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Damien, what did you think about all the news?
All right. So I just have one question. What are Skrulls?
They're basically people who are...
They're aliens. They're aliens, but they can shapeshift into other people. So they're basically used for infiltration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
So it's like spies, basically.
Yeah. It's
alien spies.
It's like an alien Mystique.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
But they believe what they're, who they are until the,
Oh, so there's still the other bodies of the actual people they're portraying.
There's qualities of the actual people, yeah.
Oh, all right. All right, so I'm gonna start in order. Uh, Thor. I like the trailer, but I mean, it's what you can expect. It's like there's gonna be a ton of jokes. I mean, I still think the movie will be good. You know, probably better than the other Thor movies. You know, I mean, if they're going with the Hulk for this, you know, like I think it's gonna like draw more than the other movies. Uh, the Ant-Man and the Wasp, that cast, Michelle Pfeiffer as the first Wasp. I didn't see that coming. I actually thought Sharon Stone would be the Wasp, the first Wasp, and Lawrence Fishburne. Uh, also, I didn't see that coming. So yeah. Hey, but now we got Tim Burton, Batman, and Catwoman in the MCU now. When you realize it, so that's something. And Black Panther. I don't know what there is to say. Like I didn't get to see the trailer. And the Skrulls theory. All right, so I think they're probably gonna have 2 to 3 Skrulls. All right, so I think 3 Skrulls are gonna be Spider-Man, because in the leaked trailer he said, "I'm sorry, Tony." So I think like something happens between them, so maybe he could be the Skrull. Thor, because in the beginning of the leaked trailer he ends up on like in outer space on like the Guardian's ship, like unconscious. So like they could like, I don't know, have kidnapped him and then they just portray him and found the Guardians. And then third would be Quicksilver, because he's supposed to be coming back for Infinity War. So I feel like they would like play us off like everyone thinks he's back alive, but he's actually still dead, and it's just a squirrel.
Interesting.
Nice. And what did you think about the Captain Marvel like concept art, or you didn't see it?
I saw it. It kind of looked like the Skrulls. They looked like goblins and stuff. So like, I mean, they're the main villain, right? Like,
Yeah, they're main
yeah. I mean, that's cool, I guess. So, yeah. I don't know too much about Captain Marvel.
What else is there from Marvel? That was about it. Overall, I liked both companies. They did what they did, and they did great. And I just loved all the trailers they put out for me, and also just seeing the slate was great for DC. And you know, hearing about the Thor trailer and not Thor, Avengers was great. And I expect great things for comic book movies. And we'll also go into, I believe, one of the news tidbits was from the Fox side of things with Legion creator Noah. And yes, and he was saying, you know, he's like, you know, I'm going to say some big news. And he's like 2 words, Dr. Doom. And he's like working on it. And before I was like, give the rights back to fucking the MCU, boys. Give it back. And then hearing Noah work on it, I was like, I'm down for it. Like a change of attitude for me, because I've seen Noah's past work. I've watched Fargo and I've watched Legion. And to me, I feel like he's in this position where Matt Reeves was with Warner Brothers, and that type of contract. He's like, you know, wanting to have his own script worked on, and you know, not any studio interference. And I feel Noah's that type, because he had no studio interference with Legion, and he doesn't want any studio interference with the Doctor Doom movie. And Doctor Doom has like this rich history, and they can pick apart, you know, so many things that has happened to him. And I feel like he's a tragic character. And Noah works on tragic characters a lot. And I feel like he can do this character justice, whereas we've had 2 Doctor Dooms that have been bad. And that's because of, you know, we haven't had the right directors on that. And that we had also studio interference. And I feel when they made this, because people are like, well, what if Fox intervenes? I feel like if that happened, it was in their contract that it wasn't going to happen. But if it, let's say, happens, I feel like Noah would bail out of that film immediately. But I feel like this is the right stepping stone for Fox, and a lot of people want to say fuck Fox, fuck X-Men, fuck all these films, and I'm not on that bandwagon. It's like, listen, I didn't like the Fantastic Four movies, and I didn't like X-Men 3 or Origins Wolverine. I thought Apocalypse was meh, and I thought Wolverine's first, 2 acts were great, and the third was meh. But overall, I just liked all the other films, and people want to go in that bandwagon, and it's because of the camps. And I'm saying camps in terms of you got the DC camps, the Marvel camps, and then the Marvel camps, hate on the Fox properties. And for me, like, I love Deadpool and I loved all these films, and hearing them do this, and this is a risk for them. It is, because you're working on this character that's mostly known to be a villain, and a lot of casuals' eyes, that we get to see something unique happen, and we've never had that besides the DC doing with Black Adam, and I love the risk, and I think it's going to pay off. What about you, Inspector?
I think this might be a misdirect. I think he might not be doing Doctor Doom. I think he might be doing the next Fantastic Four movie. Just think about it, Doctor Doom is like the main villain of Fantastic Four, even though Doctor Doom has been the villain in 3 of the 4 Fantastic Four movies that come out.
Yeah.
Like, he was the villain, I think, in the Roger Corman movie. He was the villain in the first Fantastic Four movie and in Fan Four Stick. So, and I haven't watched Legion. Legion, like, didn't really interest me that much. I've actually heard mixed things about it. Some people say it was boring. Some people really liked it. So I have like no knowledge like on the guy, because I have no knowledge of his work, so I have no opinion on him. So that's what I think.
That was interesting, saying the Fantastic Four. What about you, Marvel DC fan? What do you think about the news?
I mean, like, as much as, like, when I heard like he was maybe doing a Doctor Doom movie, I was like, yeah, but then like Fox, and then it's like, just if I want him to do anything, I just want him to make the Fantastic Four, good for once. Like, just one good Fantastic Four movie. We had 4 if you include the Roger Corman movie, and the Roger Corman movie is still the best one out of them all. So, like, come on. Just, we need a good Fantastic Four movie, and I think the time is whenever he can do it. Like,
now, you mean the time is now? You mean the time is now?
Time is now. We need it now. We can't go on anymore without this shit.
I mean, from what I'm hearing, though, like, the Fantastic Four is supposed to be, the kids from Reed Richards, and I don't think that's going to be from Noah in that aspect. It would be interesting if he does tackle Fantastic Four, but I think he likes working on, like, tough projects and risky projects, Noah. Like, he has done with Fargo and Legion. And I feel like he's not going to do the Fantastic Four. It's going to be a different director, but he's going to work on the origins for Doctor Doom. And for me, it's like this. It's like, I feel for him creatively, like, he wants to do something great. And, like, that's not going to be with the Fantastic Four. It's going to be with Doctor Doom, because it is a risk. He does risky projects and ultimately pays off. But that is like my thoughts on there. What about you, Taladia?
I agree with Inspector, really. Pretty much what he said, I agree with him 100%. I mean, I don't see him making just a full-on Doctor Doom movie. I mean, I don't watch Legion like Inspector, um, but I see him more like a Fantastic Four movie, and we need one. And we need a good Fantastic Four movie, and we need something like the 2005, the sexy Jessica Alba, if you know what I mean.
Hmm.
Yeah, so if we have something like that, it'd be cool. But we make it even better than the 2005 movie. Yes,
Mhm.
that's what I think.
What about you, Damien?
Well, uh, I don't think this movie's gonna turn out great. Honestly, another Fantastic Four related character by Fox. I mean, the thing is, they better let him have the creative control. You know, like have like some good creative control. You know, because we haven't had a good Fantastic Four movie ever. You know,
That's just
so
2005.
That wasn't even good anyway.
yeah. The only movies I consider good Fantastic Four movies are The Incredibles, like the first.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Oh
it's
God,
not even with the right characters. Not
I
even,
watched
it's
I watched The Incredibles 4 times, so
yeah, that's the real Fantastic Four movie right there. But yeah, I think a Doctor Doom movie, I don't think it would work out well. But if it were Marvel doing it though, like if
it
it
would
were
work out
Marvel,
well.
yeah, if it were Marvel doing a Fantastic Four movie or Doctor Doom movie, so yeah, that would just that'd be pretty good. But yeah, so far I don't really care about a Doctor Doom movie made by Fox.
Me, it's like, I'm on that camp. I'm not like I'm on that side where it's like Noah hasn't proven me wrong in terms of his projects, in terms of how he creates characters, how he develops those characters, the pacing for his shows, and just the complexity of them just interests me so much so where I'm just like I'm clamoring for Legion season 2, and hearing him do a project like this of this magnitude and being recognized for his talents, and him being like doing his first movie and that being Doctor Doom just interests me. And like what you said though with the Marvel, tackling Doctor Doom, I don't think it would ever be to this magnitude in terms of the depth for him. I think there'll still be depth if the MCU had him, but in terms of what I see in terms of creativity, I don't think you'll ever get that unless Noah was in the MCU, of course. But he has good relations with Fox, or Fox has good relations with him, and seeing what we may end up getting, I feel like people are going to be happy with said project once it fully comes out. Or Fox can fuck everything up and intervene, but they haven't been doing so far. Besides Fanforstic, everything else like Logan, Deadpool, um, Days of Future Past 1 and 2 and stuff like that. There was like no interference with that. We've had interferences with 3, Origins, Wolverine, and Fanforstic in that, and also the Wolverine at the last act. There was studio interference there, but I don't feel Fox is going to risk it because then Noah would jump ship immediately after that, or just leave the project midway through, which we've had, directors have done in the past. But yeah, overall, we're going to talk though right now about trailers that have nothing to do with Comic-Con, nothing to do with the comic book realm, but have to do with Comic-Con. And I want to talk about Ready Player One. It was the big standout, I think, in Comic-Con. And I loved this concept. I love that I didn't even I had to do research, and it was a book, and so they're like adapting it, and you're having all these characters like Freddy Krueger, Mad Max, Iron Giant, Akira, other one, Deathstroke,
Deathstroke and Harley Quinn.
Yep, and Harley Quinn. It's just like so cool to see that and seeing like that you're in this like post-apocalyptic world, but you go into this VR that's this cool interactive game, and you get to be a part of that game and further your own like story, like your character's story in the game, which I think is super super cool in that aspect. And you're like creating your own action adventure like life. It just has so much promise, and that being worked by Steven Spielberg just has me so excited. And like that's like the breakout, like in terms of creativity and all that as well. I'm just super excited for it, and seeing that trailer just, it almost got me, man. It almost got me. But what do you think, Inspector?
I thought it was the best trailer to come out of Comic-Con. It was really enjoyable, really cool action, and I loved all the cameos.
Good.
All that thing.
What about you, Taladia?
Same thing. I enjoyed the trailer. Like all the cameos. Can't wait to see the movie.
Nice. Damien, what do you think?
I read the book back in 2015, and I thought it was awesome. Like, it was hilarious. And I heard it was going to become a movie, so I was like, wow, this would make for a pretty cool movie. And the trailer, like, exceeded my expectations. And Steven Spielberg directing it is, like, a pretty good choice for a director for this kind of caliber of a movie. But what were you guys saying about Harley Quinn and Deathstroke and Freddy Krueger?
They have like cameos in the trailer.
Because they're owned by WB.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they like had to buy some licensing for like other like properties like Akira.
Yeah. And you also see Iron Giant in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I saw that. All right, yeah.
All right, what about you, Marvel DC fan? What do you think?
I mean, like the trailer, it was cool. It was like very interesting, like all the cameos, like Iron Giant and that kind of stuff. Like it was very like, I mean, I never would have expected to see Iron Giant in another movie, but I mean, I don't know anything about the source material, and I want to see more of it. So, like, yeah.
Nice. We got one more trailer, and that should wrap everything up. And of course, that is also Stranger Things season 2 that came out. And I'm a big fan of the first season. It's like the 70s and 80s vibe, and it's just had great character development. I just liked everything about it, the atmosphere, the twists. And seeing that we're getting a season 2 is just making me super excited for it. And it's coming out in October 27. And there's a lot of fucking shit coming out. So I'm like, what the fuck? We got a lot of like Netflix stuff, video games, and it's just gonna kill my wallet. But Inspector, have you ever seen it or watched even Stranger Things?
I've never watched Stranger Things. I didn't watch the trailer, so I have no opinion on it.
Nice. Would you ever give it a try?
I don't know. Maybe.
What about you, Taladia?
I'm the same as the Inspector. Like, I haven't watched the trailer, and really, to be honest with you, I'm not going to be able to watch season 1 because I'm so busy caught up with other things. So,
all right. What about you, Marvel DC fan?
I am super hyped. I loved the first season, that cool like 80s vibe and like the special effects and all that stuff, the music, like everything about it I loved. And now that I'm getting to see more of the second season, I can't wait for what they've got in store.
All right. What about you, Damien? Have you seen Stranger Things season 1 or the trailer?
Yeah, I've seen both the season and the trailer. Yeah, like I'm hyped for it. It looks cool. Like it's set in the 80s, so it has a lot of stuff from the 80s, like Star Wars references and stuff. they even have like some comics references in it, like in the first season and stuff. But the season 2 trailer, it just fits the vibe, Halloween thriller. You know, I think it looks awesome. So,
Yeah.
you know, I can't wait. I'm hyped.
Nice. Closing out thoughts. Comic-Con as a whole, better than E3. But
Hell yeah.
it was. I loved it. I wasn't really disappointed with much. Like, in all honesty, everything I heard, I liked. I'm just super surprised. I thought it was better than last year's Comic-Con, and Comic-Con next year it's going to be hard to top. So next year's Comic-Con is going to be hard to top this one. So overall, love Comic-Con. If I give a rating, I give it like I'd say 8.5, maybe 9. Your thoughts on Comic-Con as a whole, Inspector?
I thought it was a good Comic-Con. Like, it seemed kind of seemed the same as last year, with like DC doing like releasing all their trailers to the public and Marvel just releasing one. But overall, I think the trailers, like the Justice League trailer was great, and like the news out of the Marvel panel was great. Was really good, and I would say I would agree with you, 8.5, around there.
All right. What about you, Taladio?
Same thing as Inspector. Like, yeah, all the stuff we got announced for DC and Marvel, all of that was good. Even the toy stuff as well, which was announced, that was all cool. I know, yes, I don't play toys, but you know, there is some stuff that I really like seeing. So that was really cool to see. And also the video game aspect, that was all cool to see. So I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. And let's wait until PSX, which is the next big thing, and the VGAs. So let's
Well,
hope
the next big thing is actually New York Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm. Cool. New York, TGS, Gamescom, and all that.
Yeah.
Marvel DC fan, what did you think about Comic-Con as a whole?
It was a really good year. I mean, there was a lot of good announcements, like a few like duds in there, stuff that was mediocre, but a bunch of expectations of mine were met, and I'm really anxious to see how they up the bill next year.
Exactly. What about you, Damien? What did you think of Comic-Con this year?
I thought it was a pretty, cool convention this year for Comic-Con. I thought the trailers met my expectations. Like, a lot of stuff met my expectations. Trailers are good. And, yeah, can't wait till next year. I give this Comic-Con 8.5 out of 10.
Nice. We're going to give our outros. Of course, if you're watching this, live or past, you should be subscribed to my channel. I'm surprised you're not subscribed to my channel. Hit that button right now. And also, if you're watching this as a past broadcast, give this video a thumbs up. And more content, Game of Thrones, some more Spider-Man PS4 videos. I have a couple, coming up in the works. I may do a couple Twitch streams. I have no idea. It's still up in the air for me. But overall, yeah, you can expect some more content from my channel in a day or two. Inspector, where can they find you at?
You can follow me on Twitter at the Inspector.
All right. Talada, where can they find you, and what are you doing for your channel and Twitch?
Okay, you guys can find me on Twitter, which is at mtaladia. You can find my YouTube channel, which is Taladia Plays. And for my channel, guys, I will be doing more speculation videos, such as, Spider-Man PS4, and possibly even more about the Injustice 2 DLC stuff. So I'm looking forward to doing that. But that won't be for not till maybe September now, because I'm working very hard on Twitch. So you can find me on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Taladia Plays, where I play all different types of games. Call of Duty, FIFA, Injustice, GTA 5. You guys can find me on there, and you guys can join me.
Nice. Marvel DC fan, where can they find you and your Twitter and YouTube, and what are you doing for your YouTube channel?
Well, if you want to watch me do stupid shit, you just follow me on my channel, which is Marvel DC Fan X99. I'm also on Twitter, which is you can follow me at Marvel DC Fan X99. Yes, I changed it. You're welcome. I'm also on Facebook. You can just look me up. It's just Marvel DC Fan. And for what I'm doing on my channel, very soon we will be starting our Let's Play of The Last of Us. So I hope you guys tune in for that.
Last of Us is one of my favorite games. Of course, I'll tune into that shit.
Yeah, I know you will.
Oh yeah. Damien, where can they find you at, man?
All right, y'all can find me on Twitter at Damien Dangerous.
Nice. And yeah, guys, I enjoyed this podcast episode. Hopefully the next episode will have a lot of information. I highly doubt it because after Comic-Con there's like barely any information, just like after E3, of course. It's like no video game information as well. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Overleveled podcast signing off.
See you later, guys.
Take care.
See you later, guys. Bye.
See ya.